This is a video response to an email I got. Apparently a guy got a hold of a Mauldulater down around Texas, and he wanted a little help in getting everything hooked up, and he's seen some of my videos on mine, and pretty much just wanted a heads up, little insight on everything. So I figured, well, I'll give him the insight. So I've already got everything, the lids off all my stuff, and I'm going to do a rundown. Basically what I did is I took my radio, and strictly this radio only works with the motor mouth ball modulator. So it's a dedicated radio just for that device. I can't really do much else with it because of course you wouldn't have no audio unless you run the modulator into it. But basically I put a 1/4-inch stereo jack in here. Actually, I'm sorry, that's a mono jack. I ferret beaded it, because we all know when you start getting into some of these high RF applications, anything to stop it from squealing or whatever, you definitely got to do that. You definitely, I don't know if you really have to have them, but to me it just made more sense to just try to keep RF from blocked out. Now basically the orange wire hooks right here, and then the black is my ground for that mono jack, and that's all you really need to do. You got to cut the trace here. You're going to be doing it on a Grant, so it's going to be a little different. You're going to cut the trace at TP7 and TP8 on that radio, but this is where you do it on a 29. And then the other wires are just, like this brown wire is for my S meter. I did a little jump over here. I think it's for my recording. So if I want to, tap off the radio to record. And then just some other stuff. I got a channel kit in it. So that's the only mod that's on this radio. Everything else is pretty much stock. Now onto the modulator. And what I did is I pulled off them little variables that they have on the board on it, because that was kind of useless, and from adjusting and adjusting and adjusting, you're eventually going to just wear them little pots out. So what I did is I had some pots laying around the shop here, and I replaced them with externals, and I just wired them up. We'll get in. Let me see if we can get some light on the subject here. Move this out the way a little bit. But as you see, I just extended the wires off the board. This is the modulator board. So I just extended the wires for each pot that were the main ones. The ones that are left, you really aren't going to use. I mean, you're going to adjust them kind of one time and that's it. Like one of them's your tube emulation, one of them's for a stock mic or something of that nature. I can't remember the exact terminology because it's been a while since I've messed with this. But that's pretty much what that is. Now, what I have in this little box here, and it's kind of hard to see, is I have a whole bunch of crap shoved into one. This is my 24-volt power supply. My -15's down at the bottom. This is for my S meter, which I tap on the 29s only. So because you just can't tap a big faced meter like what I have here in a 29, and that's a whole nother discussion. But every one of the power supplies has been ferret beaded. So just so I, in case of any noise coming from the power supply itself or any RF getting into it. And then I have some jacks in the back to plug everything into, and I ferret beaded those also. I didn't go with anything real good quality for ferret beads. I just used some 43s, and that's about it. Now here's the back of the unit, and it's all in an aluminum bud box I had laying around the shop here. And basically what I have is I have the jack that goes to the radio. Then I have the one that comes from my rack gear or computer or iPad, whichever way you're going to do it. Then this still needs to have 12-volt positive. So my 12-volt hooks here, which that 12-volt serves two purposes. It serves one for the motor mouth ball modulator, and it serves one for the S meter. And then my receive, I got a little jumper that's made to go from the radio to here for the S meter. So that's what I got. And then I added a ground lug here just in case. I've never had to ground it, but I said, just in case I ever needed it. I'm going to include some still pictures in with this video. I mean, I can't really move this out too far to give you any more of an insight. I don't really run this too much anymore. I'm not saying that it doesn't do as advertised, because it definitely does what John says it will do. There's no doubt about that. Great audio. My only thing is I'm a CB hobbyist, and I like to change around radios. I just don't like to be stuck with one radio. So, you know, that's me. I mean, I change radios like people change underwear, man. And, you know, I needed something. This is fun. You know, I hook it up. You know, I play with it for probably a month, and then I move on to something else, and then I move on to something else, and then I go back to this. And I've even tried this with different radios, having fun with different radios with it. But that's all part of being a CBer and being a hobbyist at heart. One thing I did do on this, and 955 helped me out a little bit with this, is I kept blowing out the 222s and the 152, the NT 152 regulators. And he set me up with this Darlington pair. I don't know the exact number of it right off the top of my head, but basically this takes the place of the 222 and the NTE 152 all in one little package. So I've got that in there. I've heard some of the guys too that's got the motor mouth mall modulators going to tip 120s. I didn't try that because that's basically a Darlington 2. The other thing is I've had an op amp go bad on me. So what I ended up doing is I socketed all of them because they're not socketed from him. So in case I ever have a problem, all I can do is just pull it out instead of having to resolder it and taking all this jumbo mumbo apart. So all my chips in here have been socketed now. I've changed up to a dual Darlington pair. The only, I mean, I've burned a few of the NTE 152s up. I've burned a few of the 222s up. I'm not going to say it's a problem because of the modulator. I think it was more of my error on hooking up at the beginning, not knowing what the hell I was doing, really. Now I know what I'm doing, so, you know, I don't really have a problem. The only other issue I had is one of my pots was bad and was doing some really flaky stuff to me for a while. And I really kind of got disgusted with it, but I'm not one to throw something out in the front yard and beat it with a sledgehammer. So I put it to the side and came back to it is what I did. And basically I ended up finding out after replacing a whole bunch of stuff on the board, it ended up being one of the, I believe it was this pot right here, because this is a new pot and I haven't cut it down yet. I had knobs all on here at one time and I took them off when that pot went stupid. And basically what I did is I took some old jewel knobs, because see I have jewel knobs on here. Well, these were for an export radio at one time, and I kind of made them fit on my 29. Well, I was left with the second half because we all know that the export radios use a bigger, basically a bigger dual knobs, basically, is what I'm getting at. I can't even get it out of my damn mouth, but I can't find my other ones right now. Oh, here they are. I just haven't put them back on yet, but what I did is I took the other halves of them, and of course you were going to be left with nothing there. There's no jewel there, so I just took and glued, epoxied some pill heads on them, and then they go in there like that, which I thought was kind of cool, you know. This is my calibration knob for my S meter. But there you go. I hope this video helps you out. I'm going to include some stills with it, and I'll even email the stills to you. I don't know how much they're going to help you, but hopefully that does something for you. Have a great day. Stickman at the No Name Amp Shop, just demoing how to hook up my modulator and how it's all done. My Motor Mouth Mall modulator. And like I said, it does as advertised. Have a great day.